Scooped up across 38 countries and up to 75 flavors, Ben & Jerry's is no pint-sized operation. Its two Vermont factories run 24/7, operated by hundreds of flavor makers. Together, they pump out nearly 1 million pints a day, from classic flavors like Cherry Garcia and half-baked to flavors on a mission for criminal justice reform and refugee rights. And all those flavors have to be delicious. The St. Albans plant in northern Vermont to see how these famous pints flip their way to our freezers. Ben Cohen and Jerry Greenfield started Ben & Jerry's homemade ice cream in 1978. From a renovated gas station in Burlington, Vermont, they launched a brand based on sustainable ice cream making and advocating for causes they believed in, and it worked. Today, Ben & Jerry's is the best-selling single-brand ice cream label in the US. To pump out its iconic flavors, first it starts with ingredients. Ben & Jerry's partners with 250 farms globally to source everything from vanilla bean to milk. Milk comes from the St. Albans Cooperative Creamery, just 1.5 miles from the factory. Once the milk's at the plant, it heads to one of these massive, 6,000-gallon silos. But before it can be made into ice cream, everyone involved has to suit up, including us. Gowns, hairnets, caps, and boots. To make the ice cream base, the milk heads to the blend tank. Cream, milk, and lots of sugar are churned together. The factory goes through 6,700 gallons of cream every single day. Every ice cream flavor starts with either a sweet cream base or a chocolate base. Next, the mix master will pour in eggs, stabilizes, and cocoa powder if it's a chocolate base. Then it's piped into the pasteurizer. You can't see it happening, but hot steel plates are heating up the mix to kill any harmful bacteria. The newly pasteurized milk is stored in a tank for 4 to 8 hours, so the ingredients can really get to know each other. After making the two bases, they'll head to one of the 20 flavor vats to get a flavor boost. Before Ben & Jerry's famous chunks can be added, the mix has to get to below freezing temperatures. It's pumped through this giant freezing barrel, and when it gets to the front, it's finally ice cream. Along the way, it's quality tested, meaning lucky factory floor workers get to taste the ice creams. Then it goes into the first of 2 freezer visits. When it comes out, it's 22 degrees and somewhere between the consistency of a milkshake and soft serve. Now for the best part, the chunks. Founder Ben actually didn't have a great sense of smell, which meant he couldn't taste much either. So his big thing was texture. That's why Ben & Jerry's has some of the biggest chunks in the ice cream industry. These chunks end up in flavors like half-baked Chubby Hubby, or the one we're making, chocolate therapy. Workers dump in add-ins through the chunk feeder, from brownie bites and cookie dough globs to chocolate chunks, fruits, and nuts. They let us give it a try, but it's not as easy as it looks. Then it's finally time to pack those pints. Workers stack the empty containers into the automatic filler. The machine drops the pints into position and perfectly pumps in ice cream. It can fill up 270 pints a minute. The pints are pushed towards the lidder and sealed tight. At this point, 6 pints every hour are pulled off the line for quality testing. Quality assurance personnel first cut pints open. They're making sure the ingredients are symmetrical and there aren't any big air bubbles. They also measure the weight and volume of pints to ensure that the right amount of ice cream makes it into each container. Now back to the factory line. It's now time for the pints to take a second spin in the freezer. The ice cream has to get even colder, down to -10 degrees. The pints travel along the spiral hardener, a corkscrew-shaped conveyor belt inside a freezer. With the wind chill, it can get up to -60 degrees in there. After 3 hours, the pints are finally frozen and ready to be packaged. They're flipped over and shrink wrapped into groups of 8. Together, they make a gallon. But you'll never actually see a gallon tub of Ben & Jerry's ice cream, because the company never wants its ice cream going bad sitting in the back of your fridge. Once the pints are packaged, they're ready to be shipped across the globe. Business economics: gold dust. Ethics, production methods, market share, economies of scale, corporate social responsibility. It is difficult to know where to start. A great introductory video for new economists, for example, to identify as much basic economics as they can. To pump out its famous flavors like half-baked and cherry Garcia, Ben & Jerry's Vermont plants run 24/7, operated by hundreds of workers and flavor gurus. Business Insider visited the St. Albans factory back in 2019 to see how these iconic pints flit their way to our freezers. With a $5 correspondence course in ice cream making from Penn State and a $12,000 investment, $4,000 of it borrowed, Ben & Jerry opened their first ice cream scoop shop in a renovated gas station in Burlington, Vermont. Ben & Jerry celebrate the shop's one-year anniversary, and the customers who made it possible, by holding the first ever free cone day, free scoops for all day long. The annual ice cream giveaway continues today in scoop shops around the world. Ben & Jerry rent space in an old spool and bobbin mill on South Champlain Street in Burlington and begin packing their ice cream in pints. The reason? To distribute to grocery and mom and pop stores along the restaurant delivery routes. Ben services out of the back of his old VW squareback wagon. The old gas station is demolished to create a parking lot. Just before the wrecking ball is swung, the new Ben & Jerry's on Cherry Street in Burlington is up and scooping.